LeBron James stated the other day on his show he does with his friend Maverick Carter. I believe the name of the show is The Shop. He said that Celtic fans are racist as fuck. That's what he said on his show. I'm just going to read what he exactly said on the show The Shop. So I'm just reading off of an article. I'm just looking for the quote right here. He was asked why he hates Boston, and his response was, "'Cause they racist as fuck." He went on to say, "They will say anything, and it's fine. It's my life. Fuck, I've been dealing with it my whole life. I don't mind it. I hear it. If I hear somebody close by, I check them real quick, then move on to the game. They're gonna say whatever the fuck they want to say." What do I think about these statements that LeBron made? So I'm just gonna dive into this right now. I'll say this. I have lived in the Boston area when I was younger. It was a part of my childhood. I can definitely say when I was growing up during the 90s down there, there was a lot of racism. I can't deny that. So I definitely can say Boston in the past was a racist place towards minorities. I don't want to go into it, the stuff I saw there, but I could definitely say that. But I also have to be fair at the same time and acknowledge that Boston has changed over the years. It has changed a lot, compared to the past. I look at just even the racial demographics now. I'm just basing this off of Wikipedia, but I look at the demographic breakdown of Wikipedia, and they have 2019 the breakdown that Boston's like 44% white, 22% black, about close to 20% Hispanic, close to 10% Asian, and for other races it's 2.6%, I believe. That's what it says here. Native American population is 0.4%. When you add up all those numbers together, Boston is a minority majority city now. That means they are a racially diverse city, that the majority of people in that city is not white. And I even like to go back to 2010, and you'll see why I'm going to do this. So the 2010 racial demographics in Boston reads 47% non-Hispanic white, which means 47% of people are white in that city. 24% black population in 2010. 17% Hispanic population around there, and close to 9% Asian population. 4%, close to 4%, two or more races. 0.4% Native American. When you add up those numbers again, Boston comes out as a minority majority city. So they've been a minority majority city since 2010. At least on record, we could say since 2010, they've been a minority majority city. When LeBron had this rivalry with the Celtics, it started in the spring of 2008 when he faced them in the playoffs, and it was a intense stretch from, I would say, 2008 to 2012 that he faced them in the playoffs. It was very intense. Every series he dealt with them, there was a lot of just intense hatred from both sides. The Celtics were a thorn for him. They were when he was in Cleveland. They prevented him from going to the finals, and I would say possibly winning a championship earlier in Cleveland. I felt LeBron should have won in 2010, to be honest, but he did choke in that series against them. He had the better team. I do believe that. Had he shown up in that series, he would have won. So I think there's some bitterness about it. How the Celtics were really in his way for a while, and there's no love lost between him and the fans because the fans play a role in his hatred too. Because again, obviously they're gonna root for the Celtics, and they definitely rubbed it in when LeBron was losing to them. So I'm sure he has a special type of hatred for them. There was also this one incident I remember in 2012 when LeBron was facing elimination against the Celtics. He was down 3-2 in that series. He went into Boston in game 6. They scored over 40 some points. It was one of the greatest playoff games of his career. The Miami Heat avoided elimination. They avoided it, and they ended up winning the series. But I remember at the end of that game, when he was walking right into the tunnel, there was some fan that threw, I think, water on him, or it could have been beer. I don't know what it was, but it was some liquid that they tossed all over him. There's a clip on it. LeBron was pissed off, and rightfully so, but he kept his composure and just walked away from the situation. So I think there is some excuse me, I think there is some intense hatred between both sides. Obviously, they rubbed it in when LeBron couldn't beat them, and they were a thorn for LeBron, the Celtics, and the fans obviously engaged into that, and LeBron got them back. He excuse me, he beat them in 2012, in 2013, I believe. I think it was 2013 also. Yep, 2012 and 2013. So he beat them. He beat them twice. Also, I think I may have mixed it up with that game six he had, which was the 40-point game was in 2013, I believe. In 2012, he beat them in five, but just in case you go back. So, so there is that intense hatred. There is that intense history between both sides of it. I'm not so sure that we could say that the Celtic fans are more racist than any other fan bases, just because you look at the time period where LeBron was having this intense rivalry. That was around the time Boston became a very diverse city, and so it's hard for me to believe that that fan base could be more racist because once a city becomes more diverse, it has effect even on white people. You see them becoming more tolerant of other groups. I've seen this throughout the U.S. Once a place becomes more diverse, there's just a lot more tolerance. I have a hard time believing that they can be any worse than any other fan base in the league today. Like now, if LeBron was saying that the Utah Jazz fans were really racist, I would believe that because there's been so many stories of that consistently over the years. Salt Lake is a predominantly white city. I could believe that. If he said Indiana was racist, I could believe that. But I can't believe that Boston fans are racist just because again, it's just the diversity of that city. And sure, there may have been a few white dudes who might have said something racist to LeBron. Obviously, we can't confirm it, but I just don't believe those fans are any more racist than someone in Utah or Indiana or OKC. I just have a hard time believing that. I think if we're being honest, LeBron could say that they're the most annoying fan base in the league when you come into their arena. I definitely can believe that. Boston fans are tough. They're very rough, and they pull for their team. They're hardcore for them, and they really like to agitate the road team that comes in there. So I could believe that if he felt that way, that they were the most annoying fan base, or he just hated them, that they were the most hateable fan base he's dealt with because of that rivalry. That would have been a more I think fair response about it, just than just calling them racist. I just have a hard time believing that their fan base is really racist. That's just my opinion. You can't just say a fan base is racist based off a few rotten apples. It has to be more than that, and I doubt the Celtic fan base has thousands of racist fans during games screaming racist chants like it's like the 1960s or the 50s. I just don't believe that for a second. So that's how I feel about this.